Fired Up, the wealth-building guide to quitting your job on your terms. Introduction. What if quitting your job is the smartest financial decision you'll ever make? I know what you're thinking. That sounds crazy, reckless, irresponsible, maybe even dangerous. But stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you could completely transform how you think about work, wealth, and freedom. Right now, you might be driving to work or running on a treadmill. Maybe you're walking your dog or doing dishes. And that's exactly why this audiobook exists. You don't need a notebook. You don't need to pause and do exercises. You just need to listen, absorb, and let these ideas work on you. This isn't about hating your job, though if you do, that's okay too. This is about something bigger. It's about recognizing that the traditional path, the one where you trade your time for a paycheck, climb the corporate ladder, and hope for a comfortable retirement, might not be the safest path anymore. In fact, it might be the riskiest. We're living in the most extraordinary time in human history. The digital revolution has democratized wealth creation in ways our parents couldn't have imagined. You can start a business from your laptop. You can reach millions of people from your bedroom. You can learn any skill for free on YouTube. You can sell products without inventory. You can build an audience without a TV network. The barriers to entry have collapsed. The gatekeepers have lost their power. And yet most people are still following the old playbook, wondering why it's not working. Over the next 90 minutes, we're going to explore three powerful pillars: freedom, wealth, and choice. Freedom is about breaking the chains of dependency, realizing that job security is often an illusion, and that true security comes from within you, not from an employer. Wealth is about building multiple streams of income, owning assets, and creating a financial foundation that doesn't crumble when one income source disappears. Choice is about taking control of your life, your time, and your future. It's about being fired up by your own decisions rather than being fired by someone else's. This audiobook is packed with real stories, mindset shifts, and wealth-building strategies. But more importantly, it's packed with practical, actionable steps you can take today, right now, using the digital tools at your fingertips. No fluff, no theory for theory's sake, just powerful ideas that you can start implementing immediately. So, whether you're already planning your exit or you're just curious about what life could look like beyond the 9-to-5, you're in the right place. Let's get fired up. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Stability. How you've probably been told your whole life that a steady job is the foundation of a good life. But what if that foundation is built on sand? In this section, we're going to challenge everything you thought you knew about job security and show you why the riskiest move might be staying put. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah worked for the same company for 12 years. She was a model employee, always on time, never complained, hit her targets. She felt secure. She had a steady paycheck, health insurance, a 401k. On paper, she was doing everything right. Then one Tuesday morning, she got called into a conference room. 15 minutes later, she was packing her desk. The company was restructuring, budget cuts, nothing personal. Sarah's story isn't unique. It happens every day. According to recent data, the average person will be laid off or fired at least once in their career. Many will experience it multiple times. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The paycheck that feels so safe is often the riskiest path you can take. Why? Because it creates a dangerous illusion. It makes you believe that as long as you show up and do your job, you're secure. But you're not. You're dependent. Dependent on one company's financial health. Dependent on one boss's opinion of you. Dependent on market conditions you can't control. Dependent on technology not making your role obsolete. Dependent on the company not being acquired, merged, or restructured. Think about it. If you have one source of income and that source disappears, you go from 100% to zero overnight. That's not security. That's a single point of failure. In engineering, we'd call that a catastrophic design flaw. The hidden costs of this dependency are enormous.
There's the financial cost. You're probably underpaid because your employer knows you need them more than they need you. Studies show that people who stay at the same company for more than 2 years earn 50% less over their lifetime than those who move around. Why? Because raises are typically 3 to 5%, while switching jobs can net you a 10 to 20% increase. There's the opportunity cost. While you're building someone else's dream, you're not building your own. Every hour you spend making your boss richer is an hour you're not spending building your own wealth engine. And there's the psychological cost, the constant low-level anxiety that comes from knowing your livelihood depends on factors outside your control. That stress compounds over years, affecting your health, your relationships, your sleep, your joy. Now, I'm not saying all jobs are bad. I'm saying that relying on one job as your sole source of security is a strategy that's increasingly outdated and dangerous. The world has changed. Companies don't offer lifetime employment anymore. The average tenure at a job is now just 4 years. Pensions are rare, layoffs are common. Automation is accelerating. AI is disrupting industries faster than we can adapt. And yet we still cling to this idea that a job equals security. It's time to wake up from that illusion. Practical application. Here's what you can do today. Open a spreadsheet or a note on your phone. Calculate your dependency ratio. What percentage of your total income comes from your job? If it's over 70%, you're in the danger zone. Your goal should be to get that number below 50% within 2 years. Start by listing 3 skills you have that people would pay for outside your current job. Then, this week, reach out to one person in your network and offer that skill for free or at a discount just to test the market. This is your first step towards diversification. Use LinkedIn to identify 5 people who've left jobs similar to yours and are now self-employed or running businesses. Send them a message. Ask them how they made the transition. Most people love sharing their story.
Chapter 2. The Fear Trap. So if job dependency is risky, why don't more people leave? One word: fear. Fear is the invisible prison that keeps millions of talented, capable people stuck in situations that drain them. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of what other people will think, fear of not having enough money, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of disappointing parents who sacrificed for your education, fear of losing status, fear of being judged. These fears are real. I'm not going to tell you they're irrational or that you should just ignore them, but I am going to tell you that fear is often based on outdated programming. Most of us were raised with a specific script. Go to school, get good grades, get a good job, work hard, retire. That script worked for our parents' generation, but the world they lived in doesn't exist anymore. They had pensions. We have 401ks that crash with the market. They had job security. We have at-will employment. They could buy a house on one income. We need 2 incomes just to afford rent. They retired at 65 with a gold watch. We'll be working into our 70s if we follow their path. Yet the fear remains. It's been passed down like an heirloom, and it keeps us trapped. Here's what I want you to understand. Staying in a job you've outgrown, that underpays you, that doesn't value you, that's also a risk. It's a risk to your mental health. It's a risk to your earning potential. It's a risk to your future. When you reframe quitting not as a reckless gamble, but as a strategic move, everything changes. Think about it like this. Would you rather be in control of your exit, or would you rather have it forced on you? Would you rather leave from a position of strength with a plan and resources, or would you rather be escorted out with a cardboard box? Quitting on your terms isn't reckless. It's smart. It's taking control. It's refusing to let fear make your decisions for you. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you make that decision, once you step through that fear, you discover something incredible. You discover that you're more capable than you thought, that opportunities exist that you couldn't see before, that the safety net you were clinging to was actually a cage. I've seen this transformation hundreds of times. People who were paralyzed by fear, who couldn't imagine leaving their job, who thought they'd be there forever. Then, something shifts. They take one small step, then another, and suddenly they're on the other side, wondering why they waited so long. The fear doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. Practical application. Let's do a fear audit right now. Think about your biggest fear related to quitting your job. Got it? Now ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario if that fear comes true? Really think about it. Write it down mentally. Now ask, if that worst case scenario happened, could I survive it? Could I recover? The answer is almost always yes. Here's a powerful exercise. Create a fear fund. Open a separate savings account and label it your freedom fund or fear fund. Every time you feel afraid about leaving your job, put $10 in that account, $20 if you can afford it. Watch it grow. That account becomes tangible proof that you're taking action, not just worrying. Next, use your phone to record a voice memo to yourself. Say, I am afraid of specific fear, but I'm taking action anyway. Today I did specific action. Do this weekly. In 6 months, listen to your first recording. You'll be amazed at how far you've come. Finally, find one podcast or YouTube channel of someone who's done what you want to do. Subscribe. Listen during your commute. Let their story reprogram your fear response.
Chapter 3. Fired versus fired up. There are two ways to leave a job. You can be fired or you can be fired up. Being fired means someone else made the decision for you. You're reactive. You're scrambling. You're starting from a place of loss and uncertainty. You're explaining to future employers or clients why you're no longer at your previous company. You're defensive. You're wounded. Being fired up means you made the decision. You're proactive. You're prepared. You're starting from a place of power and possibility. You're telling a story of choice and courage. You're confident. You're energized. The difference is everything. When you're fired, you're a victim of circumstances. When you're fired up, you're the architect of your future. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus worked in corporate finance. Good salary, prestigious firm, all the external markers of success. But he was miserable. The hours were brutal, regularly working until midnight, weekends consumed by spreadsheets and client demands. The work was soul-crushing. He felt like he was dying a slow death in a corner office with a view he never had time to enjoy. For 2 years, he thought about leaving, but he was afraid. What would he do? How would he pay his bills? What would people think? His parents were so proud that he worked at a top firm. His friends envied his salary. His LinkedIn profile impressed people. Then one day, something clicked. He was sitting in yet another pointless meeting and he realized, I'm trading my life for this. My health, my relationships, my joy. And for what? A salary that sounds impressive but barely covers my expensive lifestyle? A title that means nothing outside this building? He made a decision right there. He didn't wait to be fired. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He chose to be fired up. He spent 6 months preparing. He built up his savings, cutting his lifestyle dramatically, moving to a smaller apartment, selling his expensive car. He started a consulting side business, working early mornings before his job and late nights after. He networked intentionally, reaching out to former colleagues who'd left, attending industry events, building relationships with potential clients. He created a detailed financial model showing exactly how much he needed to earn, how many clients he needed, what his expenses would be. He tested his consulting offer with 3 pilot clients. He validated that people would pay him. And then he walked into his boss's office and resigned. No drama, no bridge burning. Just a professional, confident exit. That was 5 years ago. Today, Marcus runs a 7-figure consulting firm. He works with clients he chooses. He sets his own hours. He takes August off every year. He's built wealth that would have been impossible in his corporate job. Not just income, but equity, assets, freedom. The key? He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait to be pushed. He chose to jump. Proactive exits create leverage. When you leave on your terms, you're not desperate. You're not willing to take just anything. You can negotiate. You can be selective. You can build something meaningful. When you're fired, you're playing defense. When you're fired up, you're playing offense. And in the game of wealth building, offense wins. Practical application. Here's your action step. Start building your exit portfolio today. Create a simple document, Google Doc, Notion page, whatever you prefer, titled My Fired Up Plan. In it, include 3 sections. Section 1, My Why. Write 3 paragraphs about why you want to leave. Be honest. Be specific. This is your fuel when things get hard. Section 2, My Runway. Calculate exactly how much money you need saved before you can leave. Use this formula. Monthly essential expenses times 12 months equals your freedom number. Then create a savings plan to hit that number. Section 3, My Bridge. Identify one income stream you can start building while still employed. Just one. Could be freelancing, consulting, a digital product, investing income. Research it this week. Take one action toward it next week. Update this document monthly. Watch your progress. This isn't just planning. It's psychological preparation. You're training your brain to see leaving as a strategic choice, not a desperate escape. Also, start documenting your wins at work. Every successful project, every client you helped, every problem you solved. Save emails of praise, screenshot metrics. You're building a portfolio that proves your value, not to your employer, but to your future clients or customers.
Chapter 4. Real Stories of Strategic Exits. Let me share a few more stories because I want you to hear that this isn't just theory. These are real people who made the leap strategically. Jennifer's story. The side hustle that became the main hustle. Jennifer was a marketing director at a tech company. She was good at her job, but she saw the ceiling. She'd never make more than $150,000 there, and she was already at $130,000. She also saw how the company treated people when times got tough. Layoffs were brutal and sudden. So she started a side hustle. She offered marketing consulting to small businesses on weekends. She charged low rates at first just to build a portfolio. She documented every result. She asked for testimonials. Within a year, she had 10 clients paying her a total of $3,000 a month. Not enough to quit, but enough to prove the model worked. Year 2, she raised her rates and got more selective. She was making $6,000 a month on the side. Still not enough, but getting closer. Year 3, she hit $10,000 a month in side income. That was her signal. She quit her job. Not because she stopped loving it, but because she could reach more students online than she ever could in a classroom. Now, 5 years later, she reaches over 50,000 students annually through her courses. She makes multiple 6 figures, and he still teaches, just on his own terms. David's story. The teacher who scaled his impact. David was a high school teacher. He loved teaching, but he couldn't survive on $45,000 a year in an expensive city. He was working summer jobs just to make ends meet. He started creating online courses, teaching the same subject he taught in school. He used Teachable, a simple platform that required no technical skills. He promoted his courses on YouTube and Instagram, creating free content that drove people to his paid courses. First year, he made $8,000. Not much, but it was something. And it was passive. He created the course once, and it sold while he slept. Year 2, he refined his marketing and created 2 more courses. He made $30,000. Year 3, he went all in on content creation, YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikToks, all driving traffic to his courses. He made $70,000, more than his teaching salary. That's when he quit teaching. Not because he stopped loving it, but because he could reach more students online than he ever could in a classroom. Now, 5 years later, he reaches over 50,000 students annually through his courses. She makes multiple 6 figures, and he still teaches, just on his own terms.
Lissa's story, the retail manager who became a real estate investor. Lissa worked in retail management. She was making $50,000 a year, working 60-hour weeks, dealing with difficult customers and corporate bureaucracy. She knew she couldn't do it forever, so she started learning about real estate investing. She listened to podcasts during her commute. She read books before bed. She joined local real estate investment groups. She saved aggressively for 18 months, living with roommates, driving an old car, packing lunches. She saved $30,000. Then she bought her first rental property, a small duplex. She lived in one unit and rented the other. The rent covered most of her mortgage. A year later, she saved enough for a down payment on a second property, then a third. After 3 years, her rental income was covering her living expenses. Not luxuriously, but enough. That's when she quit retail. She focused full-time on real estate. She learned to flip houses. She wholesaled deals. She built a portfolio. Now she owns 15 properties and does over $200,000 a year in profit. She works 20 hours a week. She's never going back to retail. The pattern? She educated herself. She started small. She built assets that produced income. She quit when her assets could support her. 3 different paths, 3 different industries, 3 different strategies. Same destination, freedom. Practical application. Choose one of these 3 paths that resonates most with you. Path 1, service-based business, like Jennifer. If you have a marketable skill, create a simple 1-page website this week using Card or Wix. It takes an hour. Put up your offer, your results, and a way to contact you. Then share it with your network. Hey, I'm taking on 2 consulting clients. Know anyone who needs your skill? Path 2, digital products, like David. If you have knowledge to share, outline a simple course or ebook this week. Just the outline. Use Notion or Google Docs. What are the 10 things you know that others would pay to learn? Don't create the full course yet. Just validate that people want it. Post about it on social media. I'm thinking of creating a course on topic. Would you be interested? Path 3, asset building, like Lisa. If you want to build wealth through assets, open an investment account this week. Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, doesn't matter. Put in $50. Buy an index fund. Congratulations, you're now an investor. Next, calculate how much you need in investment income to cover your expenses. That's your target. Now you have a goal. The key is to start. Not next month, not when you're ready, now. Imperfect action beats perfect planning every time. You've just learned why job security is an illusion and how fear keeps you trapped. You've seen real examples of people who broke free strategically. Now, let's go deeper into the mindset shift that makes all of this possible. Because strategy without the right mindset is like a Ferrari without fuel. Impressive, but going nowhere. If this is hitting home, smash that like button right now and comment, what job security myth have you been believing? Let's go.
All right, let's dive into part 2, the fired up mindset. Because let me tell you something, everything starts in the mind. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your thinking is stuck in employee mode, you'll sabotage yourself. In this section, we're rewiring your brain for wealth and freedom. Chapter 5, Wealth Begins in the Mind. Before we talk about strategies and tactics, we need to talk about mindset. Because here's the truth, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if your thinking is stuck in employee mode, you'll never build real wealth. What's employee thinking? It's trading time for money. It's believing that income comes from a job. It's thinking that security comes from an employer. It's waiting for permission, for promotions, for someone else to determine your worth. It's thinking in terms of hours and salaries. It's believing that there's a ceiling to what you can earn. Entrepreneur and investor thinking is completely different. It's about creating value, not just delivering it. It's about building assets, not just earning income. It's about leverage, making money work for you instead of you working for money. It's thinking in terms of systems in scale. It's believing that your earning potential is unlimited. Let me break this down with specific examples. An employee thinks, how can I get a raise? An entrepreneur thinks, how can I create something that generates income without my constant presence? An employee thinks, I need job security. An investor thinks, I need multiple income streams and appreciating assets. An employee thinks, my time equals my income. An entrepreneur thinks, my systems and assets equal my income. An employee thinks, I should be grateful for this opportunity. An entrepreneur thinks, what opportunity am I creating? An employee thinks, I hope they don't fire me. An entrepreneur thinks, I hope this is worth my time. See the difference? It's not about being better or worse. It's about being different. And if you want to build wealth beyond a job, you need to think differently. Here's another key distinction: earning versus building. When you earn, you get paid for what you do. When you stop doing it, the money stops. That's a job. That's freelancing. That's even high-paid consulting if you're trading hours for dollars. You're on a treadmill. Faster, maybe. More comfortable, maybe. But still a treadmill. When you build, you create something that has value independent of your time. A business that runs without you. Intellectual property that generates royalties. Investments that appreciate and produce income. Real estate that cash flows. Software that people subscribe to. A brand that people pay for. Earning is linear. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. You work 10 hours, you get paid for 10 hours. There's a direct correlation, which means there's also a ceiling. You only have so many hours. Building is exponential. You create something once, and it pays you repeatedly. You build a system, and it scales beyond your personal capacity. You invest money, and it compounds. There's no direct correlation between your time and your income, which means there's no ceiling. Earning keeps you on the treadmill. Building sets you free. The fired-up mindset is about shifting from earning to building. It's about seeing yourself not as a worker, but as a creator of value and wealth. But here's what most people don't understand. You can start building while you're still earning. You don't have to quit your job to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You can work your job and build your business. You can earn a salary and build investments. You can be employed and still have an ownership mindset. In fact, that's exactly what you should do. Practical application. Let's rewire your brain right now. For the next 30 days, I want you to do this simple exercise every morning. Before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What am I building today? Not what are you doing, what are you building? This forces you to think in terms of assets and systems, not just tasks. 2. What value am I creating today? Not what you are being paid for, what value are you creating? This shifts your focus from input, time, to output, value. 3. What would the wealthiest version of me do today? This is powerful. It forces you to think from your future self, not your current self. Write down your answers, just a sentence or 2 for each. Do this for 30 days and watch how your thinking transforms. Also, start consuming different content. Unfollow people who complain about their jobs. Follow people who are building businesses. Listen to podcasts about entrepreneurship, not just career advice. Read books about wealth building, not just productivity. Your inputs determine your outputs. Change what goes into your mind, and you'll change what comes out of your life. Here's a specific content diet for the next month. Podcasts, My First Million, The Tim Ferriss Show, and How I Built This. YouTube channels, Ali Abdaal, Alex Hormozzi, and Cody Sanchez. Books, audiobooks count, The Millionaire Fastlane, Buy Back Your Time, and The Almanac of Novel Ravikant. Consume one piece of this content daily. Let it reprogram your thinking.
Chapter 6. Fired Up by Choice.
Now, Will, let's talk about control, because at the heart of the fired up mindset is this idea. You are in control of your life. Not your boss, not your company, not the economy, not your parents' expectations, not society's script. You. When you choose to walk away from a job before burnout, before layoffs, before you're forced out, you're exercising the most powerful form of control there is. You're saying, I decide what's next for me. This is psychological gold. Think about how different it feels to quit versus being fired. When you quit, you're empowered. You're the one making the decision. You're in the driver's seat. When you're fired, you're diminished. Someone else made the decision for you. You're a passenger in your own life. Same outcome, you're no longer at that job, but completely different emotional and psychological experience. And that difference matters. It affects your confidence. It affects how you show up in interviews or client meetings. It affects the opportunities you attract. It affects how you see yourself. People can sense desperation. They can smell it. When you're fired and scrambling for the next thing, anything, people pick up on that energy. They offer you less money. They give you worse terms. They treat you like you should be grateful for whatever they're offering. But people can also sense confidence. When you've chosen your path, when you're fired up rather than fired, you carry yourself differently. You're not looking for someone to save you. You're looking for opportunities that align with your vision. You're not grateful for scraps. You're selective about what you say yes to. You're not hoping someone will give you a chance. You're creating your own chances. This is the psychology of taking control. And it's magnetic. Employers, clients, investors, they're all attracted to people who are in control of their narrative, who have chosen their path, who are fired up about what they're building. I've seen this play out hundreds of times. Two people with similar skills and experience. One was laid off and is desperately looking for the next job. The other chose to leave and is building something. Guess who gets better opportunities? Guess who commands higher rates? Guess who builds wealth faster? The one who's in control. So, if you're in a job right now and you're thinking about leaving, don't wait until you're burned out. Don't wait until you're laid off. Don't wait until you have no choice. Choose. Choose now. Choose from a place of power. That's what being fired up is all about. Practical application. Here's how to start taking control today. The control audit. Make a list of everything in your work life that you don't control. Your schedule, your projects, your income, your location, your vacation days. Write it all down. Now, next to each item, write one small way you could take back some control. Can't control your schedule? Maybe you could negotiate one work from home day. Can't control your income at your job? You can control building a side income. Can't control your projects? You can control what skills you develop in your free time. Take action on one item this week, just one. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be movement toward control. The decision practice. Start making more decisions in your daily life. Sounds simple, but most people are on autopilot. They eat the same breakfast, take the same route to work, watch the same shows. Start deciding intentionally. What will you eat today? Decide. What will you learn today? Decide. What will you create today? Decide. This trains your decision-making muscle because quitting your job is a big decision and you need to trust yourself to make it. The narrative shift. Change how you talk about your job. Stop saying, I have to go to work. Start saying, I'm choosing to go to work today while I build my exit plan. Stop saying, my boss won't let me. Start saying, I'm choosing to follow this direction for now while I develop my own direction. Language shapes reality. Change your language, change your psychology.
Chapter 7. The Wealth Identity. Here's something most people don't talk about. You have to become wealthy in your mind before you become wealthy in your bank account. What do I mean by that? Most people have a poverty identity or a middle-class identity. They see themselves as someone who struggles with money or someone who's comfortable but never wealthy, and that identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you see yourself as someone who's bad with money, you'll make decisions that confirm that belief. If you see yourself as someone who'll never be rich, you'll sabotage opportunities that could make you rich. But if you develop a wealth identity, if you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, who makes smart financial decisions, who creates value, you'll make different choices. You'll spot opportunities others miss. You'll take calculated risks. You'll invest in yourself and your future. So how do you develop a wealth identity? First, study wealthy people. Not to worship them or copy them exactly, but to understand how they think. Read their biographies, listen to their interviews, notice the patterns. Most wealthy people think long-term. They delay gratification. They invest in assets. They take calculated risks. They see failure as feedback. They're comfortable with uncertainty. Second, act as if. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is behaving consistently with the identity you're building. If you were already wealthy, how would you spend your time? Probably not scrolling social media for hours. Probably not watching Netflix every night. Probably investing in learning, building, networking. Start doing those things now. Third, surround yourself with people who have the identity you want. This is huge. If all your friends are broke and complaining about money, you'll stay broke and complain about money. If your friends are building businesses and investing, you'll do the same. Find communities, online or in person, of people who are where you want to be. Fourth, make wealthy decisions. Every time you have a choice, ask yourself, is this a wealthy decision? Will this purchase move me toward wealth or away from it? If it's something that depreciates and provides temporary pleasure, it's probably moving you away. If it's something that appreciates, educates, or helps you build, it's probably moving you toward. You don't have to be perfect, but start being intentional. The Wealthy Network Challenge. Reach out to 3 people this week who are more successful than you. Not to ask for anything, just to learn. Send a thoughtful message. Hi, John. I really admire what you've built with their business or career. I'm working on your goal and would love to learn from your experience. Would you be open to a 15-minute call? Most successful people are generous with their knowledge, but you have to ask. This builds your network and your identity as someone who's serious about wealth.
Chapter 8. Affirmations for Freedom. I want to give you some affirmations. These are just feel-good phrases. These are mindset tools. Affirmations work because they reprogram your subconscious mind. Your subconscious believes what you tell it repeatedly. I want you to say these out loud. If you're driving, say them. If you're running, say them. If you're alone at home, say them. Let them sink in. Say them with conviction, not like you're reading a script. I am in control of my financial future. No one else. Me. My security comes from within me, not from an employer. I am my own security. I create value. I build wealth. I choose freedom. This is who I am. Fear is not my guide. Vision is my guide. I see where I'm going, and I'm moving toward it. I am capable of more than I've been told. I am capable of more than I've shown. I am capable of more than I currently believe. Quitting a job that doesn't serve me is not failure. It's wisdom. It's courage. It's self-respect. I don't need permission to build the life I want. I give myself permission. My worth is not determined by a salary. My worth is determined by the value I create and the life I build. I am fired up, not fired. I choose my path. I design my life. Wealth is my birthright. Freedom is my choice. Abundance is my natural state. I am becoming the wealthiest version of myself, one decision at a time. Say these daily. Say them when doubt creeps in. Say them when fear tries to take over. Say them when someone questions your decision. Say them when you question your decision. Because the battle for wealth and freedom is won first in the mind. Practical application.
Record yourself saying these affirmations on your phone, then play them back while you're getting ready in the morning or during your commute. Hearing your own voice saying these things is incredibly powerful. Also, pick one affirmation that resonates most with you. Write it on a sticky note and put it somewhere you'll see it multiple times a day. Your bathroom mirror, your car dashboard, your computer monitor. Every time you see it, say it out loud or in your mind. This is called spaced repetition, and it's one of the most effective ways to reprogram your thinking. Finally, create a wins journal. Every day, write down one thing you did that aligns with your fired-up identity. Didn't have to be big. Maybe you saved $50. Maybe you reached out to a potential client. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you said no to something that didn't serve you. These small wins compound, and they reinforce your new identity. Now, you've rewired your mindset. You're thinking like a wealth builder, not an employee. You're taking control. You're developing a wealthy identity. Now it's time to get tactical. In the next section, we're diving deep into the specific pathways to wealth beyond a job. This is where strategy meets action. Mindset shift complete. Now, hit subscribe if you're ready for the practical steps. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaways so far. Let's keep building.
Part 3. Pathways to Wealth Beyond the Job. All right, let's get practical. You've got the mindset. Now let's talk about the money. The number one wealth building principle you need to understand is this: never depend on one source of income. If you have one stream and it dries up, you're in crisis. If you have 3 streams and one dries up, you're still fine. If you have 5 streams, you're anti-fragile. You actually get stronger when things get chaotic because you're diversified and resilient. Warren Buffett has said that most people should have at least 3 sources of income. The average millionaire has 7. 7. Not one job, 7 streams. So, what are these streams? Let me break down the most common and accessible ones, especially in our digital age. Stream 1. Freelancing and consulting. This is often the first step for people leaving jobs. You take the skills you've developed and offer them directly to clients. The beauty here is that you can often charge more per hour than you made as an employee because clients are paying for results, not just time. If you made $30 an hour as an employee, you might charge $75 to $150 an hour as a consultant. Why? Because you're bringing specialized expertise, you're solving a specific problem, and you're not costing them benefits, office space, or long-term commitment. The downside is that it's still trading time for money, but it's a great bridge. It proves you can make money outside a job. It builds confidence. It creates cash flow while you build more leveraged streams. Digital platforms make this easier than ever. Upwork and Fiverr for getting started, LinkedIn for finding better clients, Contra for creative work, Toptal for high-end consulting. Stream 2. Digital products. This is where things get interesting. Courses, ebooks, templates, software, memberships, digital downloads, anything you create once and sell repeatedly. This is leverage. You do the work once, and it pays you over and over. The upfront effort is significant, but the long-term payoff is exponential. Think about it. You create a course that takes you 40 hours to make. You sell it for $200. If you sell it to 100 people, that's $20,000 for 40 hours of work. That's $500 an hour, and it keeps selling while you sleep. The digital product ecosystem is massive. Teachable, Thinkific or Kajabi for courses, Gumroad for digital downloads, Substack for paid newsletters, Patreon for membership content, Amazon KDP for ebooks. The barrier to entry is almost zero. You don't need a publisher, You don't need a production company. You just need knowledge that people want and the willingness to package it. Stream 3, investments. This is putting your money to work so you don't have to. Stocks, bonds, index funds, ETFs, real estate, cryptocurrency, anything that appreciates or produces income. Even if you're starting small, the habit of investing is crucial. Compound interest is real and it's powerful. Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 30 with an average return of 8%, you'll have over $700,000 by age 60. That's the power of compound interest. The tools are incredibly accessible now. Robinhood, Fidelity, or Vanguard for stocks. Fundrise or Realty Mogul for real estate investing with small amounts. Coinbase for crypto. Betterment or Wealthfront for automated investing. You can start with as little as $10. There's no excuse not to be investing. Stream 4, affiliate marketing and partnerships. Recommending products or services you believe in and earning a commission. This can be passive income if done right. If you have an audience, a blog, a YouTube channel, an email list, a social media following, you can monetize it through affiliate partnerships. You're essentially getting paid to recommend things you already use and love. Platforms to explore: Amazon Associates for physical products, ClickBank for digital products, Share a Sale and CJ Affiliate for various partnerships. Many companies also have direct affiliate programs. The key is authenticity. Only promote things you actually believe in, or you'll lose trust with your audience. Stream 6, royalties and licensing. If you create intellectual property, music, books, patents, designs, photography, art, you can earn royalties every time it's used or sold. This is truly passive income. You create something once and it pays you for years, sometimes decades. Examples: write a book and earn royalties on every sale. Create stock photos and earn money every time someone downloads them. Write music and earn royalties when it's played. Design graphics and license them. Create software and charge licensing fees. Platforms: Shutterstock or Adobe Stock for photos, Audible or Amazon for books, Spotify or Apple Music for music, Patent and Trademark Office for inventions. Stream 7, content creation and monetization. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasting. If you can build an audience, you can monetize it through ads, sponsorships, and brand deals. This isn't just for teenagers dancing. There are successful content creators in every niche: finance, fitness, cooking, education, business, parenting, you name it. The monetization options are diverse: YouTube ad revenue, podcast sponsorships, Instagram brand deals, TikTok creator fund, Twitch subscriptions. The key is consistency and value. You need to provide genuine value to build an audience, but if you do, the income potential is significant. Stream 7, business ownership. This is the ultimate: building a business that operates without your constant involvement. It requires the most effort upfront but offers the most freedom and wealth potential. This could be e-commerce, SaaS, software as a service, an agency, a local service business, a franchise, anything where you're building systems and teams that generate profit. The goal is to build something that has value independent of you, something you could sell, something that produces income whether you're working or not. Modern tools make this accessible: Shopify for e-commerce, Bubble or Webflow for no-code software, Stripe for payments, Zapier for automation, virtual assistants from Upwork for delegation. Now, you don't need all of these, but you should have at least 3, and they should be diversified, not all dependent on the same market or skill set. Why? Because diversification beats dependence every time. When you have multiple streams, you're not afraid of losing one. You're resilient. You're flexible. You're free. Practical application. Here's your assignment. Choose 3 streams from the list above that align with your skills and interests. Write them down. For each stream, answer these questions. Number 1. What's my unique advantage in this stream? What do I know or what can I do that would make me successful here? Number 2. What's the first step? Not the whole plan, just the very first action I could take this week. Number 3. What's the income potential in year 1? Be realistic. Research what others are making. Now, pick one stream to focus on first. Just one. The one that's most aligned with your current skills and has the fastest path to income. Take the first step this week, not next month, this week. Also, set up a simple tracking system. Create a spreadsheet with columns for stream name, monthly income, time invested, and ROI, return on investment. Update it monthly. Watch your diversification grow. Remember, the goal isn't to build all 7 streams at once. The goal is to start with one, get it to a sustainable level, then add another. Layer your streams over time.
Chapter 9. The Wealth Equation. I want to give you a simple formula. It's not complicated, but it's powerful. This is the framework that every wealthy person I know follows, whether they realize it or not. Assets plus skills plus networks equals freedom. Let me break it down in detail. Assets are things you own that produce income or appreciate in value. Real estate, businesses, investments, intellectual property, equipment that you rent out, websites that generate ad revenue. The more assets you have, the less you need to work. Assets are the foundation of wealth. They work for you while you sleep. They compound over time. They can be sold for lump sums. They can be passed down to your children. Poor people spend their money on liabilities, things that cost them money, cars that depreciate, clothes that go out of style, gadgets that become obsolete, entertainment that's consumed and forgotten. Middle-class people spend their money on a mix of assets and liabilities. They might have a retirement account and a house, but they also have car payments and credit card debt. Wealthy people spend their money primarily on assets. Every dollar is deployed to make more dollars. Your goal should be to shift your spending from liabilities to assets. Every month, ask yourself, how much did I spend on assets versus liabilities? Track it. Improve it. Skills are your ability to create value. The more valuable your skills, the more you can charge and the more opportunities you have. But here's the key. Skills need to be marketable and scalable. Marketable means people will pay for them. Being great at something nobody will pay for doesn't help your wealth-building journey. You might love it as a hobby, but it's not a wealth-building skill. Scalable means you can deliver the skill to many people or at a high price point. If you can only deliver your skill one-on-one and there's a cap on what people will pay, you're limited. The most valuable skills in today's economy are selling, the ability to persuade and close deals. This skill alone can make you wealthy. Marketing, the ability to attract attention and convert it to customers. Copywriting, the ability to write words that sell. Coding, the ability to build digital products. Design, the ability to create visual appeal. Leadership, the ability to inspire and manage teams. Financial literacy, the ability to understand and manage money. Content creation, the ability to create valuable content that attracts audiences. Notice what's not on that list. Most of what you learned in school. I'm not saying education is worthless. I'm saying that the skills that build wealth are usually learned outside of traditional education. The good news? All of these skills can be learned online, often for free. YouTube, Coursera, Udemy, Skillshare, the resources are endless. Networks are the people you know and who know you. Your network determines the opportunities you're exposed to, the partnerships you can form, the clients you can attract, and the support you have when things get tough. There's a saying, your network is your net worth. It's true. Think about how most opportunities come to you, through people. A friend refers a client. A former colleague offers a partnership. Someone you met at an event invests in your business. A mentor opens a door. Wealthy people understand this. They invest heavily in relationships. They go to conferences. They join masterminds. They take people to lunch. They stay in touch. They add value to others without expecting immediate return. Your network is an asset that appreciates over time if you nurture it. When you combine these three, assets, skills, and networks, you create freedom. You're not dependent on a job because your assets produce income. You're not dependent on one client because your skills are in demand. You're not dependent on one opportunity because your network constantly surfaces new ones. This is the wealth equation. And the beautiful thing is that you can start building all three right now, even while you're still employed. Practical application. Let's audit your wealth equation right now. Assets audit. List every asset you currently own. Include investment accounts, 401k, IRA, brokerage, real estate, even if you're still paying a mortgage, businesses or side hustles, intellectual property like courses, books, valuable equipment. Now calculate the total value and the total monthly income these assets produce. This is your current asset base. Set a goal. In 12 months, I want my assets to produce X dollars per month in passive income. Make it realistic, but ambitious. Skills on it. List your top 5 marketable skills. For each one, rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for how valuable is it in the marketplace, how scalable is it, and how much do I enjoy using it. Identify the skill with the highest combined score. That's your wealth-building skill. Double down on it. Get better. Market it. Monetize it. Also, identify one skill you don't have but need. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's sales. Maybe it's financial literacy. Commit to learning it this quarter. Network audit. List the 10 most valuable people in your network. Valuable means they inspire you, challenge you, open doors, or have achieved what you want to achieve. When's the last time you talked to each of them? If it's been more than 3 months, reach out this week, not to ask for anything, just to reconnect. Add value. Share something useful. Ask how you can help them. Also, identify 3 people you want in your network but don't know yet. Research them. Find a way to add value to them. Then reach out with a thoughtful message. Finally, join one community this month where your ideal network hangs out. Could be an online community, a local meetup, a mastermind, a conference. Show up, contribute, build relationships. Remember, assets plus skills plus networks equals freedom. Build all 3 simultaneously, and freedom becomes inevitable. Chapter 10. Case Studies. Deep Dive. Let me tell you about 3 more people who built wealth after quitting their jobs. But this time, I want to go deeper. I want you to see not just what they did, but how they thought, what challenges they faced, and what specific strategies they used. Case Study 1. The Corporate Escapee. Tom's Journey from Engineer to Founder. Tom was a software engineer at a big tech company. Great salary, $160,000 a year, stock options, free meals, ping pong tables, all the perks. But he was working 70-hour weeks and felt like a cog in a machine. He started a side project, a productivity app for remote teams. He didn't quit his job. He worked on it nights and weekends for a year. He used no-code tools like Bubble to build the first version without needing to code everything from scratch. He launched it on Product Hunt and got his first 100 users. Then he did something smart. He talked to every single one of them. He asked what they loved, what they hated, what they'd pay for. When the app hit 10,000 users and he was making $5,000 a month in subscriptions, he quit his job. The challenges? First year on his own, he made about $96,000, 60% of his corporate salary. He had to move to a cheaper apartment. He stopped eating out. He drove his car into the ground. It was hard. But he owned 100% of his time and 100% of his business. He could move fast. He could experiment. He could talk to customers directly instead of through layers of management. The strategy? He focused obsessively on customer feedback. He shipped updates weekly. He built in public, sharing his journey on Twitter, which attracted more users and even some investors. Year 2, he hit his old salary. Year 3, he doubled it. Year 5, he sold the app for $2.3 million. The key lesson? He validated the market before quitting. He didn't build in a vacuum. He talked to users constantly, and he was willing to sacrifice lifestyle in the short term for freedom in the long term. Case Study 2. The Service Provider, Rachel's Agency Journey. Rachel was a graphic designer at an agency. She was talented but underpaid, $55,000 a year, and overworked. She was creating designs that won awards, but her boss was taking the credit and the profit. She started freelancing on the side, using Fiverr and Upwork. Her first gig paid $50 for a logo. It took her 4 hours. She did the math, $12.50 an hour, less than she made at her job. But she kept going. She built a small portfolio. She asked every client for a testimonial and a referral. She raised her rates gradually. Within 6 months, she was charging $500 for a logo. She got a few clients through referrals and started building relationships. She moved off the freelance platforms and got clients directly, which meant no platform fees. When her freelance income hit 50% of her salary, about $27,000 a year, she went part-time at her job. This was brilliant. She reduced her risk while increasing her opportunity. When her freelance income matched her salary, she quit completely. The challenges? She had to learn business skills she didn't have. How to write proposals, how to handle contracts, how to manage client expectations, how to do her own accounting. She made mistakes. She undercharged. She over-delivered. She had clients who didn't pay. But she learned. She joined online communities of other designers. She hired a business coach. She invested in courses on pricing and positioning. The strategy? She didn't stop at freelancing. She hired other designers and turned her freelance practice into an agency. She focused on a niche, branding for health and wellness companies, which allowed her to charge premium rates. She built systems. She created templates. She documented processes. She made herself less essential to the day-to-day work. Now she has 15 employees and does $2.5 million in revenue. She works about 30 hours a week, mostly on strategy and client relationships. The key lesson? She scaled gradually. She didn't take a huge leap. She tested, validated, and transitioned methodically. And she didn't stay a freelancer. She built a business. Case Study 3. The Investor. James's Path to Financial Independence. James worked in sales. Good income, $80,000 a year, but he knew it wasn't sustainable long-term. Sales is a young person's game, and he didn't want to be cold calling at 50. He read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and had an epiphany. He needed to build assets, not just earn income. He lived below his means, way below. He made $80,000 but lived on $40,000. He invested the difference aggressively. He put money into index funds, boring but effective. He bought his first rental property with an FHA loan, living in one unit of a duplex and renting the other. The rent covered most of his mortgage. He learned about house hacking, BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, and real estate syndications. He joined local real estate investment groups. He found mentors. The strategy? He played the long game. He didn't try to get rich quick. He just consistently invested $40,000 a year for 10 years. That's $400,000 in principal plus growth. His index funds grew to about $350,000. His real estate portfolio, he eventually owned 4 properties, was worth about $800,000 with about $400,000 in equity. His properties generated about $4,000 a month in cash flow after expenses. After 10 years, his investment income exceeded his living expenses. He quit his job at 42. The challenges? He sacrificed lifestyle. While his friends were buying new cars and taking expensive vacations, he was driving a 10-year-old Honda and staying in budget hotels. He dealt with difficult tenants. He had properties that needed unexpected repairs. He had to learn about property management, taxes, and real estate law. But he stayed disciplined. He kept his eye on the goal, financial independence. The key lesson? He prioritized assets over lifestyle inflation. Every raise, every bonus, every windfall went into investments. And he diversified stocks and real estate, not just one or the other. What these stories teach us: 1. Validation before resignation. All 3 tested their path before fully committing. 2. Sacrifice in the short term. All 3 accepted lower income or lifestyle initially. 3. Continuous learning. All 3 invested heavily in education and skill development. 4. Community and mentorship. All 3 found people who'd done it before. 5. Systems and scale. All 3 eventually built systems that didn't require their constant presence. Practical application. Choose the case study that resonates most with you. Now model it. If you resonate with Tom, start building a digital product this month. Use no-code tools. Launch a minimum viable product. Get your first 10 users. Talk to them. If you resonate with Rachel, start freelancing this week. Create a profile on Upwork or Contra. Apply to 5 gigs. Get your first client. Ask for a testimonial. Raise your rates. If you resonate with James, open an investment account today. Set up automatic transfers. Invest $500 this month. Read 1 book on real estate. Attend 1 local real estate meetup. Don't just admire these stories, model them. Take the first step today.
Chapter 11. The Power of Ownership. Here's a truth that will change how you think about wealth. Employees rent their income. Owners build equity. What does that mean? When you're an employee, you're paid for your time and effort, but you don't own anything. You don't own the clients. You don't own the intellectual property. You don't own the systems. You don't own the brand. When you leave with nothing but the money you've saved. When you're an owner, you build something that has value independent of you. You can sell it. You can pass it on. It appreciates. It compounds. It's an asset. This is why business owners and investors build wealth faster than employees, even high-paid employees. Think about it. A doctor might make $300,000 a year. That's great. That's top 5% of earners. But if the doctor stops working, the income stops. And after 30 years of practice, the doctor has maybe a retirement account, maybe a paid-off house, but no business to sell, no equity to cash out. A business owner might make the same $300,000, but they own a business worth $3 million. That's equity. That's wealth. They can sell it and retire. They can hire a CEO and step back. They can pass it to their kids. Same income, completely different wealth. Or consider this. 2 people both make $100,000 a year. One is an employee. One owns a business that generates $100,000 in profit. The employee's net worth grows by whatever they can save, maybe $20,000 a year if they're disciplined. The business owner's net worth grows by their savings plus the increasing value of their business. If the business is valued at 3 times earnings, conservative, it's worth $300,000. If they grow profit by 20% next year, the business is now worth $360,000. Their net worth increased by $60,000 plus their savings. See the difference? Ownership is the ultimate wealth builder. So how do you become an owner? Option 1, start a business, even a small one, even a side hustle. The act of creating something you own changes everything. It shifts your identity. It teaches you skills. It opens doors. You don't need a revolutionary idea. You don't need venture capital. You just need to solve a problem for someone and charge for it. Option 2. Buy assets, real estate, stocks, anything that appreciates and produces income. When you buy stock, you're buying ownership in a company. When you buy real estate, you're buying an asset that can produce rental income and appreciate. Option 3. Create intellectual property. Write a book, create a course, build software, design products, patent an invention. Anything you create and own has potential value. The shift from employee to owner is the shift from renting your income to building your wealth. And it's the most important shift you'll ever make. Practical application. Let's start building ownership today. The Ownership Challenge. Commit to creating one asset this quarter. Just one. It could be a digital product, ebook, course, template, a small business, consulting, e-commerce, service, an investment, stock portfolio, rental property, intellectual property, blog, YouTube channel, podcast. Choose one. Write down the specific asset you'll create. Then break it into weekly milestones. Week 1, research and plan. Week 2, create the foundation. Week 3 through 10, build and refine. Week 11, launch or purchase. Week 12, optimize and scale. Also, calculate your ownership ratio. What percentage of your net worth is in assets you own versus money you've saved from employment? If it's less than 50%, you're still in employee mode. Set a goal to flip that ratio within 2 years. And finally, start thinking like an owner in your current job. Ask yourself, if I owned this company, what would I do differently? This mental exercise trains your brain to think about systems, efficiency, profit, and value creation, all essential ownership skills. Remember, employees trade time for money. Owners build equity. Which do you want to be? You now have the pathways. You understand the wealth equation. You've seen real examples. You know the power of ownership. Now it's time to prepare for the actual transition. In the next section, we're getting into the practical, tactical steps to prepare for walking away from your job. This is where planning meets action. 7 income streams. Which one speaks to you? Comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. You don't want to miss what's coming. Let's go.
Part 4. Preparing to walk away. Continued. The income boost. Identify one way you could earn an extra $500 to $1,000 this month. Could you sell stuff you don't use on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or Poshmark? Pick up a weekend gig on TaskRabbit or Uber. Offer your skills on Fiverr for quick projects. Do overtime at your current job. Negotiate a raise or bonus. Take action on one of these this week. Put that money directly into your Runway fund. The automation setup. Set up automatic transfers from your checking to your Runway savings account. Make it happen on payday before you have a chance to spend it. Pay yourself first isn't just a cliche. It's a wealth-building fundamental. Use apps like Digit or Quapital that automatically save small amounts based on your spending patterns. Every little bit adds up. Track your progress visually. Create a simple chart showing your target and your current savings. Update it weekly. Watching that number grow is incredibly motivating.
Chapter 12. Emotional Runway. Money is important, but it's not everything. You also need emotional runway. What's emotional runway? It's confidence, resilience, a support system, the mental and emotional strength to handle uncertainty, criticism, setbacks, and the inevitable challenges that come with leaving the traditional path. Because here's what's going to happen when you quit. People are going to doubt you. Your parents might worry. Are you sure this is a good idea? What about your benefits? What about stability? They're not trying to hurt you. They're operating from their own programming. Your friends might think you're crazy. Some might even distance themselves because your bold move makes them uncomfortable about their own choices.
Your former colleagues might gossip. Did you hear? They quit without another job lined up. That's so risky. Strangers on the internet might criticize if you share your journey publicly. And that's okay, because their opinions don't pay your bills or determine your future. But you need to be ready for it. You need to have thick skin and a strong sense of self. Here's how you build emotional runway. Strategy 1. Surround yourself with supporters. Find people who believe in you, who've done what you're trying to do, who encourage rather than discourage. This might mean distancing yourself from negative people, even family. That's hard, but necessary. You can't build a new life while surrounded by people who are invested in you staying the same. Join online communities of entrepreneurs and creators. Reddit has communities like r/entrepreneur and r/side hustle. Facebook has countless groups. Discord servers exist for every niche. Find your tribe. Hire a coach or join a mastermind if you can afford it. Being around people who are ahead of you pulls you forward. Strategy 2. Develop resilience. Things will go wrong. Clients will flake. Projects will fail. Money will be tight. Technology will break. You'll make mistakes. You'll have bad days, bad weeks, maybe even bad months. You need to be able to bounce back. How? By reframing failure as feedback. Every setback is data. Every mistake is a lesson. Every no gets you closer to a yes. Build resilience through small challenges. Take cold showers. Do hard workouts. Have difficult conversations. Practice discomfort. This trains your nervous system to handle stress. Also, develop a practice for processing emotions. Journal, meditate, talk to a therapist. Don't bottle things up. Emotional health is just as important as financial health. Strategy 3. Build confidence through small bets. Don't quit your job and immediately try to build $1 million business. That's too much pressure. Start small. Freelance on the side. Launch a small product. Get some wins under your belt. Each win builds confidence. When you've successfully landed a client, delivered a project, made a sale, gotten a testimonial, you prove to yourself that you can do this. That proof is invaluable when doubt creeps in. Strategy 4. Practice self-care. This journey is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to take care of your physical and mental health. Exercise regularly. It reduces stress, improves mood, and gives you energy. You don't need a gym membership. YouTube has free workout videos. Walking is free. Sleep enough, 7 to 8 hours, non-negotiable. Sleep deprivation destroys decision-making and resilience. Eat well. You don't need to be perfect, but fuel your body properly. Junk food might feel comforting, but it makes everything harder. Maintain relationships. Don't become so obsessed with your business that you neglect your partner, your kids, your friends. They're your support system. Take breaks. Rest is productive. Burnout is real, and it will destroy everything you're building. Strategy 5. Have a plan, but be flexible. Know where you're going, but be willing to adjust. Rigidity leads to frustration. Flexibility leads to opportunity. Your first idea might not work. Your first client might be terrible. Your first product might flop. That's okay. Pivot, adjust, try again. The goal isn't to execute a perfect plan. The goal is to keep moving forward, learning, and adapting. Practical application. Let's build your emotional runway right now. The support system audit. List the 10 people you spend the most time with. For each person, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. How supportive are they of my goals? How much do they inspire me? How much do they drain me? If someone scores below 5 on support and inspiration, but above 5 on draining you, you need to limit your time with them. This isn't mean, it's self-preservation. Now, identify 3 people you want to spend more time with. People who inspire you, support you, challenge you. Reach out to them this week. Schedule a call, a coffee, a walk. The resilience practice. Choose one small daily practice that builds resilience. Some options. 5 minutes of meditation using Headspace or Calm. Cold shower for 30 seconds at the end of your regular shower.
One difficult conversation you've been avoiding. One thing that scares you slightly. Do it every day for 30 days. Watch your resilience grow. The confidence builder. Take one small bet this week, something low risk but outside your comfort zone. Post about your goals on social media. Reach out to a potential client. Launch a simple landing page for your idea. Create and publish one piece of content. Apply to speak at a local meetup. The outcome doesn't matter as much as the action. You're training yourself to take bold moves. The self-care commitment. Schedule self-care like you schedule meetings. Put it in your calendar. Exercise 3 to 5 times per week, 30 minutes minimum. Sleep 7 to 8 hours, non-negotiable. Social time 1 meaningful interaction per week. Rest 1 full day off per week. Treat these appointments as seriously as you'd treat a client meeting, because taking care of yourself is how you sustain this journey. The flexibility mindset. Write down your current plan, then write, "This plan will change, and that's okay. I'm committed to the goal, not the path." Every month, review your plan. What's working? What's not? What needs to change? Be honest. Be willing to pivot. Remember, emotional runway is just as important as financial runway. Don't neglect it.
Chapter 13. Building Your Wealth Engine.
All right, you've got your financial runway. You've got your emotional runway. Now let's talk about building your wealth engine, the system that generates income for you. Your wealth engine is not a job. It's not trading time for money. It's a machine that works for you, even when you're sleeping, even when you're on vacation, even when you're sick. Here's how to build it. Step 1. Identify your strongest skill set. What are you genuinely good at? What do people come to you for? What could you do better than most people? Don't overthink this. You don't need to be the world's best. You just need to be good enough to provide value. Some questions to help you identify your strongest skills. What do colleagues or friends ask you for help with? What tasks feel easy to you but hard for others? What have you been paid to do in the past? What do you enjoy doing so much you do it for free? What problems can you solve that people struggle with? Write down your top 3 skills. These are your foundation. Step 2. Validate the market. Is there demand for this skill? Will people pay for it? Don't assume. Test. Here's how to validate quickly. Method 1. The conversation test. Talk to 10 people who might be your ideal clients. Ask them, what's your biggest challenge with blank related to your skill? Have you tried to solve it? How? Would you pay someone to help you solve it? How much would you pay? If 7 out of 10 say yes, they'd pay, you've validated demand. Method 2. The landing page test. Create a simple one-page website using Card, Wix, or Webflow. Describe your offer. Put a buy now or book a call button. Drive some traffic to it using social media or a small ad budget, $50 to $100. If people click the button and inquire, you've validated demand. You don't even need to have the full service ready. You're just testing interest. Method 3. The pilot offer. Offer your service to 3 people at a discount or even free in exchange for a testimonial and feedback. If they get results and would pay full price next time, you've validated demand. Don't skip validation. Too many people build something nobody wants. Test first, build second. Step 3. Package your skill. Don't just offer your time. Offer a result, a transformation, a solution. Bad offer. I'll do graphic design for $50 an hour. Good offer. I'll create a complete brand identity package that makes your business look professional and trustworthy. $2,500. See the difference? One is selling time. The other is selling an outcome. People don't want to buy hours. They want to buy results. Package your skill as a solution to a specific problem. Use this formula. I help target audience achieve desired outcome through your method or skill. Examples. I help busy executives stay fit through personalized 30-minute workout plans. I help small businesses get more customers through conversion-focused website design. I help new parents sleep better through gentle sleep training programs. This is how you charge premium prices.
You're not selling hours. You're selling outcomes. Step 4. Create leverage. How can you deliver this skill without being present? This is the key to scaling. Options for creating leverage. Option 1. Productize your service. Turn your service into a standardized package with a fixed price and scope. This makes delivery more efficient and allows you to eventually delegate or automate parts of it. Option 2. Create digital products. Turn your knowledge into courses, ebooks, templates, or tools that people can buy without your involvement. Option 3. Build a team. Hire others to deliver the service while you focus on sales, strategy, and growth. Option 4. Use technology. Automate parts of your process using tools like Zapier, AI assistants, scheduling software, email automation, etc. Option 5. Create recurring revenue. Instead of one-time projects, offer retainers, subscriptions, or memberships that provide ongoing value and predictable income. The goal is to break the direct correlation between your time and your income. That's how you scale. Option 5. Build distribution. How will people find you? You need a consistent way to attract potential clients or customers. Distribution channels to consider. Content marketing. Create valuable content, blog posts, videos, podcasts that attracts your ideal audience. This is slow but compounds over time. Social media. Build an audience on platforms where your ideal clients hang out. LinkedIn for B2B, Instagram for visual businesses, Twitter for thought leadership, TikTok for younger audiences. SEO. Optimize your website to rank in Google for terms your ideal clients are searching for. Networking. Attend events, join communities, build relationships. Many of the best opportunities come through warm introductions. Partnerships. Partner with people who already have your ideal audience. Offer to provide value to their audience in exchange for exposure. Paid ads. Facebook, Google, LinkedIn ads can work if you have a proven offer and understand the economics. Email list. Build an email list from day one. It's the most valuable asset you can own. Use ConvertKit, MailChimp, or Beehive. You don't need all of these. Pick 1 or 2 and go deep. Consistency beats variety. Step 6. Optimize and scale. Once you have a system that works, you're getting clients, delivering results, getting paid, double down. Improve your offer, raise your prices, improve your delivery, get better testimonials, refine your marketing. Then scale, hire help, automate more, reach more people, increase prices, add new offers. This is your wealth engine, and the beautiful thing is that you can start building it while you're still employed. Nights and weekends, early mornings, lunch breaks. You don't need to quit to start. You just need to start. And once your wealth engine is generating consistent income, ideally matching or exceeding your job income, quitting becomes easy. Because you're not jumping into the void. You're stepping onto solid ground. Practical application. Let's build your wealth engine blueprint right now. The skill selection. Write down your top 3 marketable skills. For each one, answer, is there clear market demand? Yes or no? Can I deliver it remotely or digitally? Yes or no? Do I enjoy doing it? Yes or no? Can it scale beyond my time? Yes or no? Choose the skill with the most yes answers. That's your wealth engine foundation. The offer creation. Using your chosen skill, create your signature offer using this template. I help specific target audience achieve specific outcome in time frame through your unique method. Price, some amount. What's included? Deliverable 1, deliverable 2, deliverable 3. Write this out. Make it specific, make it compelling. The validation plan. Choose one validation method from above. Schedule it for this week. 10 conversations with potential clients, or create a landing page and drive 100 visitors to it, or deliver your service to 3 pilot clients. Put it in your calendar. Make it happen. The distribution strategy. Choose one primary distribution channel, just one. Where will you consistently show up to attract clients? Commit to a 90-day content plan. If it's LinkedIn, 3 posts per week for 90 days. If it's YouTube, 1 video per week for 90 days. If it's a podcast, 1 episode per week for 90 days. Consistency is everything. Pick one channel and dominate it. The time allocation.
Calculate how many hours per week you can dedicate to building your wealth engine while still employed. Be realistic. If you work 40 hours and need 8 hours of sleep per night, 56 hours, that leaves 72 hours. Subtract time for family, meals, commute, etc. You probably have 10 to 20 hours per week. Block that time in your calendar. Treat it like a part-time job, because it is. It's your future full-time freedom.
Chapter 14. The first 90 days after you quit. Let's talk about what happens after you quit, because this is where a lot of people stumble. The first 90 days are critical. This is when doubt creeps in, when money gets tight, when the excitement wears off and reality sets in, when you realize that freedom also means responsibility. Here's what to expect. Emotionally, days 1 to 14, the honeymoon phase. You'll feel liberated, excited, energized. You'll sleep in. You'll take long lunches. You'll think, why didn't I do this sooner? Days 15 to 45, the reality check. The novelty wears off. You realize you actually need to make money. You might feel anxious. You might question your decision. You might have moments of panic. This is normal. Push through. Days 46 to 90, the grind. You settle into a rhythm. You're working hard, probably harder than you did at your job. But it's different. You're building something. You're in control. You start seeing results. Confidence returns. Financially, unless you've already built significant income streams, money will be tighter than you're used to. You'll need to live lean. Stick to your budget. Don't panic and take the first job offer that comes along. Remember, you built your runway for this exact reason. Trust your preparation. Socially, some people will support you. Others will distance themselves. You'll find out who your real friends are. You might feel isolated, especially if you're working from home. Combat this by joining co-working spaces, attending meetups, or scheduling regular social time. Practically, you'll have more time, but you'll need discipline. Without a boss or schedule, it's easy to drift. It's easy to waste time. It's easy to confuse being busy with being productive. Here's how to stay disciplined and avoid panic. Strategy 1. Have a 90-day plan. Know exactly what you're going to do in the first 3 months. Which income streams will you build? What clients will you pursue? What products will you launch? What metrics will you track? Write it down. Break it into weekly goals. Review it daily. Your 90-day plan should include revenue goal, be realistic, number of clients or customers you need, marketing activities, content, outreach, networking, product or service development milestones, learning goals, skills you need to develop. Strategy 2. Create structure. Just because you don't have a boss doesn't mean you don't need structure. In fact, you need it more. Create a daily routine. Wake up at the same time. Morning routine. Exercise, meditation, breakfast. Work blocks. Use time blocking or a Pomodoro technique. Lunch break. Afternoon work blocks. Evening wind down. Sleep time. Use tools like Notion, Asana, or Trello to manage tasks. Use rescue time or Toggle to track where your time actually goes. Strategy 3. Celebrate small wins. Got your first client? Celebrate. Made your first sale? Celebrate. Hit a milestone? Celebrate. Got a great testimonial? Celebrate. These wins keep you motivated. They remind you that you're making progress. Keep a wins journal. Every day, write down one win, no matter how small. On hard days, read through it. It's proof that you're moving forward. Strategy 4. Track your numbers. What gets measured gets managed. Track revenue, daily, weekly, monthly, expenses, profit, number of clients or customers, conversion rates, time spent on different activities. Use a simple spreadsheet or tools like QuickBooks, Wave, or FreshBooks. Looking at your numbers keeps you grounded. It shows you what's working and what's not. It prevents you from operating on feelings instead of facts. Strategy 5. Stay connected. Don't isolate. Loneliness is real when you work for yourself. Join communities, find accountability partners, attend events, schedule regular calls with friends or mentors. Consider joining a co-working space, even if it's just a few days a week. Being around other people who are building things is energizing. Strategy 6.
Be patient, but persistent. 90 days is not enough time to build an empire, but it's enough time to build momentum. Don't expect to be making 6 figures in 3 months. Do expect to be making progress, learning, growing, building. Trust the process. Stay consistent. Keep showing up. What success looks like at 90 days? You don't need to be profitable yet, but you should have at least one paying client or customer, a clear offer that people want, a system for attracting leads, proof that your model works, and confidence that you can do this. If you have those things, you're on the right track. Practical application. Let's create your 90-day post-quit plan right now. The 90-day revenue plan. Calculate your minimum viable income, the absolute minimum you need to earn in 90 days to feel okay. Be realistic. Now break it down. Total 90-day goal is blank. Monthly goal is blank. Divide by 3. Weekly goal is blank. Divide by 13. Now, how will you hit that weekly goal? If you're selling services, how many clients at what price? If you're selling products, how many units at what price? If you're doing a mix, what's the breakdown? Write out the specific numbers. Make it concrete. The daily schedule. Design your ideal daily schedule for your first 90 days. Include wake time, morning routine, work blocks, what you'll focus on, breaks, exercise, social time, wind down routine, sleep time. Put it in your calendar. Follow it for the first week. Adjust as needed, but have structure. The accountability system. Find one person who will hold you accountable. Could be a friend who's also building something, a mentor, a coach, an online accountability partner. Schedule weekly check-ins. Share your goals, report your progress, be honest about challenges. Also, consider posting your journey publicly on social media. Public accountability is powerful. Plus, it can attract opportunities. The celebration ritual. Decide how you'll celebrate wins. Make it specific. First client, nice dinner out. First 1,000, buy something you've wanted. First month profitable, weekend trip. 10 clients, upgrade your workspace. Having rewards to look forward to keeps you motivated. The emergency plan. Write down your plan B. If things aren't working after 90 days, what will you do? Options might include: extend your runway by taking part-time work. Pivot your offer based on what you've learned. Partner with someone who complements your skills. Go back to employment temporarily while you refine your approach. Having a plan B reduces anxiety. You're not betting everything on one outcome, you're giving yourself options. The first 90 days will test you, but if you make it through with these strategies, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more confident than ever.
Part 5. Living Wealthy by Choice. 12 minutes. You've made it. You've quit. You've survived the first 90 days. You're generating income. You're building wealth. Now what? In this final section, we're exploring what it truly means to live wealthy, not just in your bank account, but in your time, your relationships, your impact, and your joy. Chapter 15. Redefining Wealth. Let's talk about what wealth really means, because if you think wealth is just money, you're missing the point. Money is a tool. It's important, but it's not the goal. The goal is freedom, time, impact, choice, joy, peace, meaning. Wealth is freedom. Freedom is waking up and deciding how you'll spend your day, not because you have to, but because you want to. Freedom is saying no to opportunities that don't align with your values, even if they pay well. Freedom is taking a Tuesday afternoon off to watch your kid's soccer game without asking permission. Freedom is traveling when you want, where you want, for as long as you want. Freedom is not being controlled by fear. Fear of losing your job, fear of not having enough, fear of what others think. This is real wealth. Wealth is time. Time is the ultimate currency. You can always make more money. You can't make more time. Wealth is having control of your time, not selling it by the hour, not trading it for a paycheck, not spending it on things that don't matter. Wealth is having time for the people you love, time for the activities that bring you joy, time to think, to create, to rest, to explore. When you're on your deathbed, you won't wish you'd spent more time in the office. You'll wish you'd spent more time with people you love doing things that mattered. Time is wealth. Protect it fiercely. Wealth is impact. Wealth is using your resources, money, skills, influence, time to make a difference, to help others, to solve problems, to create something meaningful, to leave the world better than you found it. Impact doesn't have to be grand. You don't have to cure cancer or end poverty. Impact can be mentoring someone who's where you used to be. It can be creating a product that makes people's lives easier. It can be donating to causes you believe in. It can be being present for your family. Wealth without impact is empty. Money without meaning is hollow. Wealth is choice. Wealth is having options, the ability to say no, the ability to say yes, the ability to pivot when something isn't working. Choice is power. When you have choice, you're not desperate, you're not stuck, you're not at the mercy of circumstances. You can choose where you live, who you work with, what projects you take on, how you spend your days. This is the ultimate luxury. Wealth is peace. Wealth is not worrying about money, not because you have infinite money, but because you have enough and you know how to create more. Wealth is sleeping well at night, not being stressed about bills, not fighting with your partner about finances, not feeling anxious about the future. Peace is priceless, and it's available at many income levels if you live intentionally. I've met people with millions in the bank who are miserable. They're trapped by their lifestyle, their obligations, their fear of losing what they have. They're wealthy on paper, but poor in spirit. I've also met people with modest incomes who are wealthy beyond measure. They have time, they have freedom, they have purpose, they have peace, they have joy. Which would you rather be? When you redefine wealth this way, the path becomes clearer. You're not chasing a number, you're building a life. And that's infinitely more valuable. Practical application. Let's redefine wealth for you personally. The wealth definition exercise. Complete these sentences. To me, wealth means blank. I'll know I'm wealthy when blank. The lifestyle I want to live looks like blank. The impact I want to make is blank. The legacy I want to leave is blank. Write these down. Be specific. This is your personal definition of wealth. It might be different from mine or anyone else's. That's okay. This is your life. The enough number. Calculate your enough number, the amount of money you need to live the life you want without financial stress. Include monthly living expenses for your desired lifestyle, annual travel or experiences, savings and investments, giving or impact budget, emergency buffer. Multiply your monthly number by 12. That's your annual enough number. Now, how much would you need in assets to generate that passively? Multiply by 25 using the 4% rule, or by 12.5 using the 8% rule. For example, if you need $100,000 a year, you'd need $2.5 million in assets at a 4% withdrawal rate, or $1.25 million at 8% return. That's your financial freedom number. It's probably lower than you think. The time audit. For 1 week, track how you spend every hour. Use an app like Rescue Time or just a simple spreadsheet. At the end of the week, categorize your time. Time that energizes you, time that drains you, time that's neutral. Your goal is to maximize energizing time and minimize draining time. That's time wealth. The impact plan. Decide on one way you'll create impact this year. Could be mentoring someone, donating to a cause, creating something that helps people, volunteering, or teaching what you know. Schedule it. Make it happen. Impact is part of wealth.
Chapter 16. Fired Up Living. So, what does fired up living look like on a daily basis? Let me paint a picture. You wake up without an alarm, not because you're lazy, but because you're rested and excited about the day. Your body wakes naturally because you're in rhythm with yourself. You spend the first hour on yourself. Maybe you exercise. Maybe you meditate. Maybe you read. Maybe you journal. Maybe you just sit with coffee and think. Whatever fills your cup. This time is non-negotiable because you know that you can't pour from an empty cup. You work on projects that matter to you, that align with your values, that challenge and excite you. You're not watching the clock because you're engaged. You're in flow. You take breaks when you want. You go for a walk in the middle of the day. You have lunch with a friend. You take a nap if you're tired. You're not asking permission. You're listening to your body and your needs. You make decisions based on what's right for you, not what's expected of you. You say no to opportunities that don't align, even if they pay well. You say yes to opportunities that excite you, even if they're risky. You invest in relationships. You're present with your partner. You play with your kids. You call your friends. You're not distracted by work stress because you've created boundaries. You invest in experiences. You travel. You try new things. You create memories. You're not waiting for retirement to live. You're not stressed about money because you've built systems that generate income without consuming all your time. Money flows in while you sleep, while you play, while you rest. You're not worried about job security because you've diversified your income and built valuable skills. You're anti-fragile. You get stronger when things get chaotic. You're not living for the weekend or for retirement. You're living now. Every day is a good day because you've designed it that way. This is fired up living, and it's not a fantasy. It's a choice. Here are the daily habits of financially free individuals. Habit 1. They protect their time. They say no to things that don't align with their goals. They're ruthless about their calendar. They know that time is their most valuable asset. They batch similar tasks. They delegate or automate what they can. They eliminate time wasters. Habit 2. They invest in themselves. Education, health, relationships. They know that they are their greatest asset. They read daily. They take courses. They hire coaches. They attend events. They're always growing. They exercise regularly. They eat well. They sleep enough. They know that physical health enables everything else. Habit 3. They stay disciplined. Freedom doesn't mean chaos. It means structure that you choose. They have routines. They have systems. They track their numbers. They review their goals regularly. They're disciplined about their finances. They invest consistently. They live below their means. They make intentional choices. Habit 4. They give back. They mentor. They donate. They contribute. Because wealth is meant to be shared. They know that helping others is how you multiply your own abundance. What you give comes back multiplied. Habit 5. They stay curious. They read. They learn. They grow. They know that stagnation is death. They ask questions. They explore new ideas. They're open to being wrong. They're always evolving. Habit 6. They take calculated risks. They're not reckless, but they're not paralyzed by fear either. They make bets on themselves. They try new things. They're willing to fail because they know that failure is feedback. Habit 7. They celebrate progress. They don't wait until they've made it to enjoy life. They enjoy the journey. They celebrate small wins. They practice gratitude. They find joy in the process, not just the outcome. Habit 8. They build community.
They surround themselves with people who inspire them. They invest in relationships. They collaborate rather than compete. They know that wealth is multiplied through community, not hoarded in isolation. This is how you keep momentum without a boss. This is how you build a life of abundance. Practical application. Let's design your fired-up life starting today. The ideal day design. Write out your ideal day in detail, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Include when you wake up and how, your morning routine, what work you do and when, who you interact with, what you do for fun, how you wind down, when you sleep. Be specific. This is your target. Now, what's one thing from your ideal day that you can implement this week? The habit stack. Choose 3 habits from the list above that you want to develop. Start with just 3. For each habit, define the specific action, for example, read for 30 minutes, when you'll do it, for example, every morning after breakfast, how you'll track it, for example, check off in my habit tracker app. Use apps like Habitica, Streaks, or just a simple checklist. Track for 30 days. The boundary setting. Identify 3 boundaries you need to set to protect your time and energy. Examples: I don't check email after 6 p.m. I don't take calls on weekends. I say no to projects that don't excite me. I take 1 full day off per week. Write them down, communicate them to relevant people, and enforce them. The celebration practice. Start a daily gratitude and celebration practice. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for, 1 win from today, no matter how small, 1 thing you're looking forward to tomorrow. This trains your brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. The community connection. Identify 1 community you want to be part of. Could be a mastermind group, an online community, a local meetup, a co-working space. Join it this week. Show up, contribute, build relationships.
Closing story: The Transformation of Alex.
Let me leave you with one final story. A story of complete transformation. Alex was 34 years old, working in middle management at a logistics company. Decent salary, $65,000 a year, but nothing special. Long hours, high stress, no fulfillment. Every Sunday evening, Alex felt a knot in his stomach thinking about Monday morning. Alex had a dream of starting a business, but fear kept him stuck. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not having enough money, fear of disappointing his parents who'd sacrificed for his education. Then, one day, Alex's company announced layoffs. He wasn't on the list, but watching colleagues, some who'd been there for 15 years, get escorted out with cardboard boxes shook him to his core. He realized that his security was an illusion, that loyalty meant nothing, that he was 1 bad quarter away from being in their shoes. That night, Alex made a decision. He wasn't going to wait to be fired. He was going to get fired up. He spent the next year preparing. He saved aggressively, cutting his lifestyle, moving to a cheaper apartment, selling his car, and biking to work. He saved $30,000. He started a consulting side business, helping small logistics companies optimize their operations. He worked early mornings before his job and evenings after. He was exhausted, but he was energized. He was building something. He built relationships with potential clients. He read everything he could about entrepreneurship and wealth building. He joined online communities. He found mentors. When his savings hit his target and his side business was generating $3,000 a month consistently, he walked into his boss's office and resigned. His boss was shocked. "Are you sure? You're on track for a promotion. You could be making $80,000 next year." Alex smiled. "I appreciate that, but I'm building something of my own." The first 6 months were hard, really hard. Money was tight. Doubt was constant. There were days Alex questioned everything. But he stayed disciplined. He followed his plan. He celebrated small wins. He reached out for support when he needed it. By month 9, his consulting income exceeded his old salary. By year 2, he doubled it. By year 3, he'd hired 2 employees and was working half the hours. Today, 5 years later, Alex runs a thriving consulting firm with 12 employees. The business does $2 million in revenue and generates about $400,000 in profit annually. But more than the money, Alex has freedom. He works from anywhere. He took his family to Europe for a month last summer and worked a few hours a day from cafes. He has time with his kids. He coaches his daughter's soccer team. He has dinner with his family every night. He has purpose. He's helping small businesses succeed. He's creating jobs. He's making an impact. He has choice. He turns down projects that don't excite him. He only works with clients he likes. He designs his days. He has peace. He sleeps well. He doesn't worry about money. He's not stressed about job security. Alex isn't special. He's not a genius. He's not lucky. He didn't have a trust fund or rich parents or special connections. He just decided to be fired up instead of waiting to be fired. He prepared. He took action. He stayed disciplined. He pushed through fear and doubt, and that made all the difference. 5 years ago, Alex was stuck in a job he hated, living paycheck to paycheck, dreaming of a different life. Today, Alex is living that different life, not because it was easy, but because he chose it. You can too.
Conclusion. So here we are, 2 hours together, 3 pillars: freedom, wealth, and choice. You've heard the stories, you've learned the strategies, you've absorbed the mindset. You've gotten practical, actionable steps. Now it's time for you to decide. Are you going to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you, hoping things will magically improve? Or are you going to take control? Are you going to build your runway, develop your skills, create your wealth engine, and step into the life you deserve? You don't have to wait to be fired. You can choose to be fired up. You don't have to depend on one employer for your security. You can build multiple streams of income. You don't have to trade your time for money forever. You can build assets that work for you. You don't have to live in fear. You can live in freedom. This isn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to bet on yourself when others doubt you. But it's worth it, because on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that leap, is a life most people only dream about. A life where you wake up excited, where you control your time, where you build wealth on your terms, where you make an impact, where you have choice, where you have peace, where you have joy. That life is available to you right now, today. All you have to do is decide. We're living in the most extraordinary time in human history. The tools are available. The platforms exist. The knowledge is free. The barriers have collapsed. You can start a business from your laptop. You could reach millions of people from your bedroom. You can learn any skill on YouTube. You can sell products without inventory. You can build an audience without a TV network. You can invest with $10. You can create a course in a weekend. You can find clients on LinkedIn. You can automate with AI. The opportunities are endless. The only question is, will you seize them? So I'll leave you with this. You are capable of more than you've been told. More than your boss thinks. More than your parents expect. More than society prescribes. More than you currently believe. Your security comes from within you, not from an employer. You are the source of your security. Your skills, your resourcefulness, your resilience, your ability to create value. That can never be taken from you. Wealth is your birthright. Freedom is your choice. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need to wait. You just need to start. You don't need permission to build the life you want. No one is going to give you permission. No one is going to hand you freedom. You have to take it. You have to build it. You have to choose it. You are fired up, not fired. You choose your path. This is your life, your one precious life. Don't let someone else write your story. Don't let fear make your decisions. Don't let comfort keep you stuck. Choose. Choose boldly. Choose now. Start building your runway today. Start developing your skills today. Start creating your wealth engine today. Start taking control today. Not next month, not when you're ready, not when circumstances are perfect. Today. Because the perfect time doesn't exist. The perfect circumstances don't exist. The perfect plan doesn't exist. But imperfect action beats perfect planning every single time. So take the first step, then take the next one, then the next one. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize you've traveled miles. You've transformed. You've built something incredible. You've become the fired up version of yourself. The version that doesn't wait for permission. The version that doesn't settle for security over freedom. The version that builds wealth on their own terms. The version that lives with purpose, passion, and peace. That life is already inside you. It's been there all along. It's just been waiting for you to choose it. So choose it. Get fired up. Build your wealth. Claim your freedom. Design your life. And never look back. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs your gifts, your talents, your unique perspective. Don't deprive the world of that.
Hey, before you go, I want to say thank you. Thank you for spending the last 90 minutes with me. Thank you for being open to these ideas. Thank you for being someone who's willing to question the status quo and build something better. If this audiobook resonated with you, if it challenged you, if it inspired you, I have a favor to ask. First, subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Why? Because I'm going to keep creating content to support you on this journey. More strategies, more stories, more practical tools to help you build wealth and freedom on your terms. When you subscribe, you're not just supporting me, you're joining a community of people who are fired up about building a different kind of life. People who refuse to settle, people who are taking control of their financial future. Second, give this video a thumbs up. If you found value here, if even one idea landed for you, hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. People who are stuck in jobs that drain them. People who are ready for change but don't know where to start. Your like could be the reason someone else discovers this audiobook and decides to change their life. That's powerful. Third, drop a comment below. I want to hear from you. Tell me, what was your biggest takeaway from this audiobook? What's the one action you're going to take this week? What's holding you back from making the leap? What topic do you want me to cover next? I read every single comment, and I respond. This isn't just a one-way broadcast. This is a conversation, a community. We're building this together. Fourth, share this with someone who needs it. You probably know someone who's stuck, someone who's unhappy in their job, someone who's been talking about making a change but hasn't pulled the trigger. Send them this audiobook, share it on your social media, text the link to a friend. You might just change their life. Sometimes all it takes is one message, one resource, one spark to ignite a transformation. You could be that spark for someone. Fifth, take action today. Don't let this just be another piece of content you consumed and forgot. Don't let this be inspiration without implementation. Go back to the practical applications throughout this audiobook. Pick one, just one, and do it today. Maybe it's calculating your freedom number. Maybe it's reaching out to a potential client. Maybe it's starting your Runway fund. Maybe it's just having an honest conversation with yourself about what you really want. Whatever it is, do it today. Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. And you didn't spend 90 minutes here to be entertained. You're here to transform. Finally, remember this. You are not alone on this journey. Thousands of people are listening to this right now, feeling the same fears, dreaming the same dreams, taking the same steps. We're in this together. And together, we're building a movement of people who refuse to trade their lives for paychecks. People who are fired up about freedom, wealth, and choice. So subscribe, like, comment, share, and most importantly, take action. Your fired up life is waiting. Let's build it together. I'll see you in the next one. Now, go get fired up.